Are you worried about Lamar's passing ability?
Yes, I am. Listen, Lamar Jackson is an electrifying talent, and we're proud that he's a starting quarterback in the National Football League because he deserves it. But with greatness comes great responsibility, and we know that he's a great athlete. We know that from the quarterback position, he's electrifying running the football, which is why the Ravens had the #1 rushing attack last year. We recognize that, but the question has been repeatedly about his ability to throw the football. And although there's been vast improvement, we also understand that the standards it's going to elevate, and people are going to expect you to have to meet up to them. Now, this year, he's had 3 good games. Obviously, against Cleveland to open the season, against a winless Houston team after that, and last week against a Washington football team that doesn't even have a damn name and just benched their quarterback. The one bad game he had was against a playoff caliber team, which is the Kansas City Chiefs. And it's one thing to lose to them. It's another thing to be ineffective while doing so. You can lose a game, and it could be because of a variety of things other than yourself. But Lamar Jackson couldn't get going against the Kansas City Chiefs. And come playoff time, you're going to have to go up against more formidable teams. And those that are not as formidable as Kansas City offensively may very well be formidable as the Kansas City Chiefs defensively. Because you're not playing against the opposing offense, you're playing against an opposing defense. And unfortunately, he wasn't able to produce. And when we look at the 2 playoff games that he performed, once against the Chargers, where he only completed 48% of his passes and had about 25 yards passing for the first three-plus quarters. And then last year, he completed 52% of his passes against Tennessee. That's not going to get it done. That's what we're looking at. That's the standard we're holding him up to. The question is, when we look at him, do we see a guy that we're confident can get the job done throwing the football come postseason time? That's the litmus test for Lamar Jackson. And right now, that answer would be no.
I think you're dancing around it, but I don't think you have it quite, Stephen A. And I don't know if what I'm going to say is more damning than what you said. I don't think passing is the issue with Lamar. Let's keep in mind, at age 21, he was the most accurate passer in the history of the NFL at age 21. That includes Peyton Manning and everyone. These are just by the numbers. And I get play action helps him and all that stuff, and they're not playing from behind usually. He doesn't have to, throw it a lot. But his accuracy started out better than anyone's ever at the age of 21 in the NFL and has gotten better. I'm not worried about throwing so much and accuracy so much with Lamar. I'm worried about something more important, I think. I'm worried about pressure because 21-1 against the rest of the league, 21-1 against the rest of the league, 0-3 against the Chiefs in the regular season. But worse than that, 0-2 in the playoffs, which means you are almost undefeated in your NFL career until you play in the highest pressure games, and then you're winless. And if you look at it, and Brian Griese pointed it out on Monday Night Football against the Chiefs, when the blitz came, Lamar's eyes were on the ground. Like he wasn't keeping them down the field. The pressure was getting him to him. Now, Griese also pointed out, where were the hot routes, right? Like the entire team didn't respond well to the blitz, right? And you compare that to Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes, who might be the best who ever did it. But Lamar Jackson's issue to me is not his passing. I think that is trending in the right way and is already good enough. It's dealing with pressure in the biggest moments. He has to start demonstrating that when it matters most, he can stay the same guy.
Well, listen, let me say right off the top, Lamar Jackson is only at 31% of passes down the field, which is 20 yards plus. So I know a lot of people are going to jump on that. But I think when you look at Lamar Jackson in the passing game, it's deeper than that. When we talk about Lamar Jackson, a lot of things has arisen from past years. Number one, the offensive line is not playing as well as it was in the past. Their right guard, who's going to be a future Hall of Famer, Marshall Yonder, retired in the offseason. And the guys in the interior just haven't played as well as they played, last year. And when you look at Lamar Jackson and this passing attack, everything is predicated off the run. They don't run the ball as well as they did last year. Teams are starting to creep up. They're not, playing as well up front. The running game is a little bit harder, although they're third in the league in rushing. And all those things are compiling one on top of the other. Listen, no one's going to mistake Lamar Jackson for, some of these other elite quarterbacks who put up gaudy stats in the passing game. That's not the way their offense is designed. He's not going to be throwing up 300-yard, plus every game. They're predicated on ball control, running the football, and play action, hitting the ball down the field. Now, Lamar Jackson has to do a better job of hitting these plays down the field when they're open. But my whole point is they have to do a much better job blocking up front, giving Lamar Jackson more time to read the defense. And I think the passing game will come together over time, but they got to do a better job of just solidifying things up front for that Baltimore Ravens offense.
Guys, work with me on this. Let me just throw this out. I mean, this is just my opinion, but it's really more of a question than an opinion I want to throw y'all way. We were watching Kansas City last week against New England, or earlier, a couple of days ago or so, obviously with New England being compromised because of the COVID-19 test of Cam Newton and all of this stuff, right? We saw Bill Belichick exercise a strategy where he didn't blitz Patrick Mahomes, essentially because you blitz Patrick Mahomes, he will pick you apart. That made Patrick Mahomes look relatively normal. We're talking Patrick Mahomes. Now let's transfer that kind of thinking to Lamar Jackson. What do teams usually do against him? They compromise their own secondary because they leave a spy, sometimes two, because he's so electrifying running the football that, again, it compromises your secondary, all right? And still, in tough situations, meaning postseason primarily, this is a guy that we have seen struggle. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.